Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to join you virtually today. I want to extend my sincere thanks to the organizers for making this event possible and for allowing us to connect despite the distance. My speech concerns the Yāresān. They are a unique religious and cultural group primarily located in western Iran and some parts of Iraq. They maintain a rich array of traditions and taboos that define their spiritual and communal identity. Central to their faith are several key prohibitions and customs that symbolize their deep-seated beliefs. The mustache, revered as a symbol of divine truth, is surrounded by strict rules against cutting and tampering. Marriage taboos strictly prohibit unions between Sayyids and laypersons, reinforcing the spiritual hierarchy within the community. Dietary restrictions, particularly the ban on pork, vary among different Yāresān tribes, but generally hold significant religious weight. Additionally, smoking, especially hookah, is traditionally seen as a grave sin, although this taboo has lessened in recent times. These prohibitions, while historically stringent, are experiencing gradual changes as the Yāresān community adapts to modern influences and external pressures. Today we will explore these evolving taboos, highlighting the tension between preserving ancient customs and embracing contemporary life. One of the most important components of the Yāresān religious attributes is the mustache, which is considered a symbol of divine truth. Mustaches are mentioned in the holy book of the Yāresān, Saranjam. It is said that according to the Yari tradition, the mustache is long and covers the lips so that a friend can distinguish a friend from a stranger. Ali spoke about the mustache as a means of connecting the believer with its community and religion during the Battle of Siffin. Sahne's famous religious leader and musician Sayyid Khalil Ali Nejad, in confirmation of this during a conversation with Philip Cranbrook, quoted one of the hadiths according to which Ali, the leader of the believers, said, "Cut your beards short and grow your mustaches." Taking care of the mustache, keeping it clean and anointing it with perfumes is part of the Prophet's rules of conduct. According to the Yāresāns, the Prophet himself had a long mustache. According to tradition, when Hossein is killed and his head is severed from the body, the blood dripped from the head collects in the corners of the large mustache and then drops drop by drop to the ground. The Yāresān believe that the blessed name of Ali is depicted on every man's face, as the traditional beard reflects the last letter of Ali's name. Traditionally, Yāresāns don't have the right to cut their mustaches. According to some sources, even to pluck a single hair from it or to bite it, because it's such a grave sin that they can even be expelled from the religious community. According to a story found in Tazkirah-e-A'la, one of the sacred books of the Yāresān, a member of the Yāresān community who did not fear God meets a Khariji. Khariji is a person outside the Yāresān community who was smoking hookah. He also starts smoking and in the process accidentally bites and tears out a hair from his mustache. When he is going to attend the jam in the evening, Khanatash, from whom nothing can be hidden, decides not to let him in and removes him from the community. He explained this by the fact that every hair of Yāresān's mustache is holy as the Quran, and dropping it as equivalent of trampling the holy book. It's the matter of shaving. The mustache that has brought division between the Yāresāns of Ceyhunabad and Sahne. In 1991, in winter, Nur Ali issued an order through his sister Shaykh Jani and forced men to shave off their mustaches. Tampering with the mustache is tantamount to breaking the religious secret, can lead to expulsion from the community, and this sin can only be expiated by making a sacrifice. The order to shave off the mustache caused an uproar even among those who quietly supported the reforms within the Yāresān community. Having a mustache, which is a religious charge, often becomes a means of exerting pressure on Yāresāns. Perhaps the most sensational story was in 2013. The self-immolation of 3 Yāresāns was in protest of the treatment and humiliation of Kayumars Tamnak, a representative of the Yāresān community in Hamadan prison, who was forced to shave all the hair on his head, which is against the religious beliefs of the Yāresāns. We can also see a similar force of shaving the mustache as a means of humiliation and punishment in Iraq. In the summer 2022, representatives of the Popular Mobilization Forces in Iraq attacked Peshmerga Ayman Abdi Yassim and shaved off his mustache. As a sign of protest, the Kakai community organized a demonstration, and the organizer of the protest said in an interview with the New Arab News Agency. The incident took place after a verbal argument between Ayman and several members of the AMU, when Ayman was beaten, humiliated by shaving his mustache and hair. We would have preferred him to be killed, but not to shave off his mustache, because mustaches are a symbol for the Kakais. By shaving off the mustache, they offend not the individuals, but the entire Kakai family. The cult status of mustaches often depends on region and Khaneda. For Shah Ibrahimi's family, for example, shaving the mustache is not a big deal, while it's forbidden for Baba Yadgar. At the same time, it's necessary to address another important circumstance. If the Kurdish Yāresāns in the west of Iran keep mustaches and are free to express their identity, the Turkish Yāresāns shave their mustaches in order to hide their religious identity. Shaving the mustache is actually a manifestation of taqiyya, the clever concealment of faith. Today, the religious attitude towards mustaches is gradually disappearing, especially outside of Iran, among the Yāresāns of Europe. This is not always perceived as hostile by the community. For example, people working in public organizations and agencies are forgiven for shaving their mustaches. In general, trimming the mustache is allowed. Shaving is prohibited. Traditionally, the most important prohibition of the Yāresān community concerned a religion secret known as Sere Magu. Literally, it means a secret that must not be told, and which was written down on a scroll by Ali. This is mentioned in one of the Yāresān religious texts, Tazkirah Allah. It is said, "He who reads this book must never utter its content to the uninformed, but it contains unspeakable secrets. Whoever reads this book must never divulge its contents to all manner of ignorant people, because it contains unutterable mysteries." Sere Magu. In both Iran and Iraq, many people feel constrained by this ban because they consider religious secrets too sacred to be discussed with outsiders. On the other hand, hiding one's religion and its details created a misconception about the Yāresāns as a community hostile to outsiders. This prohibition is also a way of taqiyya, a means of hiding one's identity for Yāresāns. In the case of Iraqi Kakais, gatherings often take place in individuals' houses, and the location of these jamkhanes is also kept secret. The ban on religious secrecy, however, is gradually being lifted as collections of kalams have been regularly published in recent decades, accessible to both Yāresāns and non-Yāresāns. An important change in the life of the community is also the presence of strangers in the ceremonies recently. Many sources of the Yāresān speak about the fact that the women cannot be present at gatherings in jamkhanes. However, for example, Tiba Mir Hosseini writes in her works that she was allowed to attend the jam. We see the same in the case of Yāresān women living in Sweden who have received permission from the Sayyid to participate in the jam. In general, the right of women to participate in the jam is determined by the given group or tribe. When talking about taboos, it is also necessary to refer to prohibitions of marriage between Sayyids and Morids. According to Haj Nematollah Jayunabadi, marriage between Sayyids and secular people is not desirable, and here Morids and peers will not be happy if they marry, because such a marriage is a sin against the order of the Supreme Being. The ban on marriage between Sayyids and laymen goes back to the prohibition of incest, as the Yāresān see their community as one big family, where the Sayyids are the spiritual parents of the laymen. Although, according to tradition, any sexual or romantic relations between representatives of the opposite sex before marriage are prohibited, and the followers of Yāresānism must marry exclusively according to the ceremony prescribed by the religion, but the social changes of the last decades, strictly in Western countries, have introduced innovations in the religion, including interreligious marriages. These changes are due to the belief that such prohibitions and religious regulations were not created for today. So, marriage between a Sayyid and a layperson is presented today under the new coverage of religious laws. Referring to food prohibitions among Yāresāns, it's necessary to refer to pork meat. Minorsky notes that a group of Yāresāns, the Tumari, sacrifice a pig without hesitation, while, for example, the Gurans do not consider pork as food. According to Ivanov, although according to the rules of the Yāresāns, the use of pork in food is punished even by expulsion from the community, but for some tribes, such as the Kupasai, the use of wild pig meat is acceptable. Nur Ali Elahi, speaking about the pig as a halal animal, writes, Benjamin's cow, as the Kalam says, was a deer, not a boar, and it's the biggest mistake that many people, based on this, consider the pig as a halal animal. According to the sacred book of the Yāresāns, Saranjam, pork is absolutely forbidden. If someone commits a sin and eats it, the punishment can be up to and including removal from the community. If Minorsky connects the ban on pork with religious laws, Ivanov attributes it to tribal tradition. Another ban concerns cigarettes. Smoking hookah as a sin carries the same gravity as eating haram and leads to expulsion from the community. Stead tells a unique story about this and connects to the story of the origin of the taboo with the name of Haj Nematollah Jayunabadi. A new heretic appears from time to time. Such a one appeared in Sahne village about 20 years ago. A man named Nematollah claimed to be a special messenger and announced the imminent coming of the Lord. By his order, people stopped using tea, tobacco, and opium, and men started growing their hair. We can say that the ban on smoking about Yāresāns has almost disappeared today. So, in conclusion, the Yāresān community's approach to religious taboo and tradition is undergoing significant transformation in response to modern influences and changing social dynamics. Traditionally, stringent prohibitions such as those related to the mustache, marriage, and dietary practices are increasingly being reinterpreted or relaxed, particularly among Yāresāns living outside of Iran. This evolution reflects a broader trend towards modernization and adaptation as the community seeks to balance the preservation of its religious identity with the realities of contemporary life. The gradual lifting of the ban on religious secrecy, the allowance of women in religious gatherings, and the acceptance of interreligious marriages are indicative of a community in transition. These changes signify a move towards a more inclusive and flexible interpretation of Yāresān's tenets, demonstrating resilience, resilience and adaptability. As the Yāresān navigate their shifts, they continue to honor their heritage while embracing the need for modern relevance and cultural integration. Thank you very much.